As long as the sun shines, the grass grows, and the river flows.
My name is David Campbell. For a living, I work for Parks Canada as a resource management officer, resource conservation officer.
My name's Tasheena Campbell. I'm from Fort McMurray, Alberta. I am 31 years old, and I'm a Miksuk Cree First Nation member.
We work with researchers going into the park to assist them with their studies. We do the muskrat survey, where we count the muskrat houses to check on the health of the delta where I work. We also do fish studies in the summer. See how the fish are making out with all the oil sands pollution coming down the river and affecting our way of life. And fishing. I do a little bit of dog keeping, running, dog mushing, just a various outdoor activities I do. A lot of stuff like that, bird watching, and just enjoying nature at its best out on the land. Yeah, dog sledding was always part of my life. Like my dad always had dogs when he was growing up and stuff like that. So he had many stories of dogs and what they could do with them and stuff like that through hunting and trapping and fishing with the dogs and stuff like that. It was a mode of transportation before the earlier years, before the skidoo come around. So he had a big part of his life was strictly dog team traveling. And then later on, they had these community events or racing and stuff. They used to have this big race from Fort Chip to Fort McMurray, where all the trappers would gather up, and whoever was left in the late 60s and 70s that still had the dog teams then would race to Fort McMurray. It was continued on for about 5 years. He took part in it just about every year, did well in it. Then he raced some other shorter races around Hay River, Fort Chip, Fort McMurray, Rainium City. And all these stories, listening to him growing up and using dogs and stuff like that with him. It just grew with us kids. There was 3 other brothers I have and a couple of sisters that are interested and did some dog racing also. So we maintained a dog team through fishing and later on buying little chicken and stuff like that and whatever it took to sustain the dog team. We still do it today. I enjoy it. I still have my own dog team of 10 to 15 dogs and I just love it. I just will do it as long as my health can allow me to. Yeah.
He would take off ahead of me and you would be behind. And if you fell off, he's not looking back. He's going straight forward. As long as the dogs and stuff are good, he'll turn around after and realize that you're not there. But yeah, adapt very quickly. My dad taught me everything I need to know in a sense of survival, from tracking animals to setting traps to pulling net to fish, to read the land and to use it as my map and guide. He taught me how to be calm, to be self-resilient, and to adapt really quickly, to be prepared and to trust our ancestral knowledge. He taught me to respect all living things, humans, plants, animals, and even spirit, to not take more than I need, to give back to Mother Earth as in a tobacco offering. And we are all connected. What happens to the land happens to the people.
I think it myself is the best way to learn. That's the way Indigenous people always learned from, not from books, not from reading, not from university. They went out and watched their grandparents and their parents and stuff like that, the way to do things and stuff. They learned from seeing it done, like, and stuff like that. And it's not only here; it's all over the world. That's the way of Indigenous people learned off all their lives from the time immemorial. They watched the stars, they navigated by the stars, and they traveled. They adapted, they built tools, they did all this stuff and survived on this land for a long time. And just lately, as colonization came up, they had to change their ways of living and stuff like that. And we like to see as the tough times get tougher, to go back to that lifestyle of hunting and trapping to make ends meet, and to continue my culture and stuff like that, my way of life, pass it on to whoever I can, whether it be somebody from out, whether it be kids, whether it be anyone that comes out with me, and I learn something off them and they learn something off me. And I think that's a good way to look at it, because I'm always with pro-indigenous way of life and stuff like that. I like to mesh it with Western science and get a good end product out of it. To tell our story as Indigenous people, how we live and how we do things culturally, what it means to us to be out on there in the land. It's not just it is a job, but it's also fun and a way of life for me. How can you keep traditions alive? Is by continuing on practicing it and teaching it. I hope to continue on my way of life, and I hope someone would, one of my grandkids or all of my grandkids would come along and with me sometimes, and I show them the way it's supposed to be done culturally as Indigenous people. Like show them what I do and stuff like that out there, and so they can continue on and not lose that way of life, as well as getting their education and living off the teaching them about past culture and their way of life.
Not only he's connecting with the land, he's also giving a sense of purpose, and he's also preserving the land for the future generations. I gained the value of respecting our land and nature by connecting to our people through intergenerational wisdom. He taught me how to work hard, and he taught me how to be resilient. As long as the sun shines, the grass grows, and the river flows.